Thanks for staying with us. According to the last National Demographic and Health Survey, the rate of exclusive breastfeeding in Nigeria is 28.7%. This means that over 71% of babies 0 to 6 months are not enjoying the unique benefits of breast milk. This is very low, and in commemorating World Breastfeeding Week, we have a medical doctor and international board-certified lactation consultant practicing in the UK, founder of the Milk Booster and the Breastfeeding Doctor Chinny Obinwanne. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Chinny, it's so good to have you.
Thank
so
you.
we know your lactation is what you do, helping to consult, helping people to lactate better. I know many mothers, like I did. I had serious issues lactating. I mean, the first baby I had, I was able to do 3 months consistent. The twins, I didn't even bother. I didn't bother, like, you know what, from better being, I mean, I was breastfeeding them, but I had to supplement it with, and then the last baby, like, you know what, I can't be bothered.
Be better than that.
So, what do you tell a mother? What are those myths we need to squash in the issue of breastfeeding?
Okay, so first thing is, I really don't believe women should have issues with breastfeeding, especially with breast milk. The reason I say this is that I help mothers that did not carry their baby produce milk for their surrogate babies.
Wow.
So if that mom can have milk for her baby, so why would a mother that carried and breastfed her own babies not produce milk? So the issues I find is, like you said, myths. We have myths within Nigeria that has been going on for ages and is limiting, and we have a huge gap in lactation knowledge. I've attended an antenatal class before, and it's really outdated practice. So we need to come up with the new up-to-date practice, educate women, empower them, because gone are the days where we expect breastfeeding not to have any issues. Majority of women that go through breastfeeding experience 1 or more issues during that period.
So what are we doing wrong that we have cases of mothers who are saying they're unable to breastfeed their children, they're not making milk at all, not making enough milk? In my own personal case, it takes 3 to 4 days before I can start breastfeeding.
Let me pause you for a second because I have to go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have the founder of the Milk Booster and the Breastfeeding Doctor Chinny Obinwanne. Yes,
I have a question. Just in response to what you said, that every mother should be able to breastfeed or lactate. But I want to know why some mothers can't. Why it takes some mothers a few days before the breast milk comes in, like in my personal case. Why some people will tell you that their milk is not enough for their baby and have to supplement. And why some just don't have breast milk at all.
Okay, so I'll start from the last part. There's about 5% of women around the world that really would struggle to produce enough to do exclusive. This is a very small number. And those women, they would actually be the one most of the time tell you that they feel during puberty, their breasts look different compared to other women. So they already know something is wrong with their breast, the way it formed. That's just ruling out those ones. But when it now comes to every other woman, you have to look at it this way, that from the time you're pregnant, your body has already started working for you in terms of breastfeeding. From 2nd trimester, every woman that is pregnant starts producing colostrum, which is the first milk that you have once you've had your baby. When your baby now comes, during that whole period, the whole pregnancy hormones just go down. And when they go down, then your breastfeeding hormones can begin to release that milk. So the timeline that you expect between when you've had your baby producing drops of milk, spoonfuls of milk, which is the colostrum, and that is more than enough to sustain that newborn that you have. By day 3, day 2, the full milk now comes in, which is the white milk we all know. We don't know the smaller volume milk that is small but mighty. We only know the white milk that is big. But when you compare it to the small volume of milk, is almost the same. So it's normal for your milk to come in by day 3 in big volume. But before then, you've already started producing milk since 2nd trimester. So what you need to do is have that, the milk is there. The thing is that we are not taught on how to hand express it because your head needs to see it to believe it. You understand? But if your baby is always at the breast every 2 to 3 hours, after having skin to skin within the 1st hour of birth, you would see your baby getting that droplet of milk and gaining weight and passing the first 2. And that increase in frequency will encourage that big milk that you know to now come in. And it will come in earlier because your baby has constantly been on the breast. One thing I noticed with the Nigerian system is that many women from that onset, because they don't understand there's colostrum, they don't understand that even though the volume of colostrum is small but is enough to keep your baby, they don't understand that your baby's stomach at that stage is very small and doesn't need that big volume. So they start supplementing with formula. You see a mom say, oh, there's nothing on the breast, I'm giving 10 ml. But you already know that you're setting yourself up for failure because that baby at that age is not meant to be having that volume that you're giving that baby. And what happens is that the stomach is an organ that stretches the more you give it. So it happens to babies. As you're giving that baby that extra volume, your baby is going to be demanding more in terms of appetite. And what it requires from you is constantly forcing your own body to produce to meet up. And I see that with many women where they've fallen into the cycle where they always have to top up with formula, have to top up. When they now come to me and I go through the whole process with them, within a week, you can see them meeting up and then providing full 100% breast milk for their babies.
My children come out of the womb very hungry, and they need to eat. Like they come out sucking, especially the last one came out sucking. She really needed to eat, and it was, we just had to substitute, which, I couldn't avoid at the time because she was constantly hungry. But my question is, I've seen 3 people around me who were not able to breastfeed. The milk was not coming out with everything the doctors tried. 3 experienced them around me, and 3 of them had very large breasts. Does it have anything to do with size? And is there any diet women can eat that may help people like that breastfeed?
Okay, so your breast size does not have any effect in terms of your breast milk supply. What does matter is your breast milk producing glands. So in all of us, whether you're big-breasted or small-breasted, we all have the breast milk producing glands. And this naturally, they increase in size and volume during pregnancy. And once they increase, they have really prepared and start producing that colostrum. When you now come and see this myth that big-breasted women don't produce enough, that is a full myth. Because what I see from experience that big-breasted women suffer is with, in terms of obtaining a good latch with their baby. So I find that a mom is dealing with a big breast and it's hard for her newborn to latch on properly and get a deep latch that is needed. So that newborn ends up having shallow latch after shallow latch after shallow latch. And when a baby latches on and is not latching on correctly, that demand is not in there. And when the demand is not there, your body is going to start thinking there is no need for that milk production. And you will start producing less and less and less until you stop seeing any milk.
I struggled. I really struggled because I really wanted to breastfeed my child, but I just felt that the child wasn't full. They were constantly crying and crying. The milk wasn't enough. I felt the milk wasn't enough, so I had to supplement eventually after 3 months. I did exclusive my first child, but it was so tough to continue. I mean, because, so as a consultant, if you had seen me at the time, what would you have advised me to do at that time?
So at that time, what would have actually encouraged you to do was to boost your supply, which is where you have the milk booster.
How do we boost?
So the milk booster uses it's just a mixture of what we normally eat. Oats, chia seed, like natural seeds that you bring together to make something that is very nutritious, dense.
They tell us ogi in Nigeria. Is ogi nutritious for this thing?
They
just pack you with ogi once you get pregnant. Once you deliver a baby like this.
So it's not a nutrient-dense meal. Ogi is not a nutrient-dense meal.
Nice carbohydrates.
Yes.
Wow.
So, and it's really the fluid in ogi that is really boosting, and the maize in it, but it's not nutrient dense. So what we do is we just bring things that are nutrient dense,
Like?
oats,
Chia
chia
seed.
seed, sesame seed, almonds.
You
those
blend
kind
it
of things.
together.
Yes, and then make like something that you enjoy to
Right.
eat.
Nice.
And then increase your supply. And then one other thing I would have encouraged you to do was, because of your also big-breasted, was to get you to pump and make sure that your baby is getting a deep latch.
I try. I mean, I pump. I pump. I mean, trust me. I was really considered.
Morayo,
Gang,
was your
gang.
baby deep latching?
Yes, it was deep latching.
So I think that mental preparation is important for me. In my experience, being mentally prepared, setting that intention made a huge difference. I had twins first, and I knew I wanted to breastfeed, but there was a lot of people around me, and I was overwhelmed with the children. You know, it was just so much. And then I didn't even know what I was doing. Then they were trying to put the breast into the mouth, everybody just touching you. And, it was just so overwhelming in the first 3 days that I don't really even think the boys had a proper latch in the first 3 days. So they didn't eat anything the first 3 days. And my in-laws just came and said, these boys are not eating. The next thing, formula, and that just took over. So I think about 5 days into the journey, we got into proper latch, and I was breastfeeding, but I already got a bit used to having the fact that there was formula helping. At what point would you say we should talk to a professional? Because with my baby, I did 6 months exclusive, and it was super easy, and I was walking,
With
I was
Samuel.
pumping, with Samuel.
But how do we do twins too? I like to answer that question. I had twins too. It was tough.
Yeah.
I put one like this, I put one the
it's
other way.
mental.
It was
At the same time?
Yes, at the same
Yes.
time. Whoa, the head with the
They
girl's
should
head was on the
understand
boy.
themselves. You eat first, the
No,
other one.
they're crying and
it's
You
screaming.
know that she not have twins.
The first one, the boy is here. The girl sits on his hair, on his tummy, and like this. So I'm crying. I'm telling you,
No,
it
that's
was
a lot of
painful.
work.
Chinny, it was painful. How you going to breast with twins? So tell me, Madam Consultant.
Quadruplets.
Okay, so first, I always encourage moms to get the knowledge before the babies are here.
Okay.
So you need to know first what you're up against. Like I always see in terms of our system, we teach and prepare people a lot for labor and delivery. We invest time in that, and we give minimal time for breastfeeding. So you find many women, they're able to go through birth and labor, like they can birth like a champion. But when it comes to breastfeeding,
Sister Morayo, the Hebrew woman.
they are no longer a breastfeeding champion. And it really comes from that lack of knowledge, number one. And then number two, getting twins, it's best to feed them at the same time. Because when you get them feeding at the same time, that means when they eat and they're full, you put them down and you take a break. But if you're doing it one after the other, it's harder. And it's just the same thing like how we have different breastfeeding positions. It's not always one facing this way, like for me, like a
I do
crisscross.
this. Like I put a
Head
pillow
bend.
behind.
Yes,
so
that's
it's head
actually
like
the
this.
best one.
It's less
But-
weight.
but-
Yes.
but that's
So it's
still-
just the head.
That's still luxury. Triplets. What should do?
Quadruplets. We don't have enough time. I just want to quickly drop. I want you to help people to understand, because the statistics for breastfeeding is really, really poor, and this is the best way children can get nutrients. Can you tell people the advantages of breastfeeding, especially when they feel like I don't have enough money and they end up not doing proper formula benefits?
Okay, so it's important to breastfeed because anything, I always tell mom, the same way that you put in so much effort during pregnancy to make sure that your baby forms will have the best nutrition, it's the same thing that you do after your baby is here. Breastfeeding is that foundation that you need to lay, because aside from that first 2 years, you don't have that opportunity to do this. You're not going to breastfeed a 5-year-old for the first time, you understand? So I take it that it's the sacrifice that you are doing as a continuation of what you've done during pregnancy. And the importance of this is that the benefits are not just only for that time you're looking at your baby as a newborn, gaining weight, staying out of hospital, not falling sick, but it goes up until they're toddlers. You see them running around healthy, and it goes up until they're adults. You wouldn't believe that because you breastfed your baby girl, her chances of having like cancer as an adult, you've reduced it. Because you've breastfed your sons, their chances of being obese tomorrow and having diabetes tomorrow, you've reduced it. You've reduced their chances of having hypertension. These are things that are chronic illnesses that almost everyone is like having it at a certain age. So that investment is worth it because it goes a long way.
Okay, Dr. Chinny, thank you so much. We have to wrap up there, but I guess we'll just check you out for those who need help, especially consultancy on this matter. We can always link them up to you to learn how to. I wish now I feel like having a baby.
It's just that
Another one. I think I should have a
just show us some
already.
techniques.
So, yeah, I mean, I would love that. But now I want to have a baby so I can learn from you.
No,
Maybe
need. Now, let me
No,
have.
don't mind Morayo. She's waiting for an excuse. We have not given her one. Let's keep going.
Number 5, they'll chase you for Nigeria. Are you okay? It is a kind of like
Triplets you have.
That's all we can take on the show today. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.